Okay, good afternoon YouTube. Putting up a little video right now. This one's going to be kind of a, not only, I would have done this anyway eventually, but this one's going to be a special request. I'm going to list this one in my description as, instead of just my normal comparison of two watches side by side, to Invictus. A gentleman asked me to do a comparison of the two of the biggest watches that Invicta makes, and so I'm going to go ahead and put this up so you can check this out because it was a request. If you're this is the first video you're watching of mine, generally I do what I call show and tells. I'm not a watch expert. I don't claim to know everything about these watches. What I am is I'm very passionate about watches. I've been collecting for quite some time now, and I discovered Invicta about 6 months ago. And or I made my first purchase about 6 months ago, and since then the ball has been rolling fiercely. So a lot of my videos basically show the watch on the wrist, so you can see what it actually looks like on the person. That's what kind of set mine apart. A lot of videos show the watch up close, like spinning around with the guy with the white gloves, and you really can't see what it looks like. So, with that being said, I'm about 5 foot 8 inches tall. I weigh about 170 pounds. And I have 7-inch wrists, so a lot of these watches look pretty big on me. And when you actually get to see it on the person, you can get an idea what it's going to look like maybe when you get it home. So with that being said here, we're going to compare, for the gentleman who requested it, two of the biggest watches that Invicta makes. Now, I believe these are the two of the biggest. I've looked. I'm really into the bigger watches, so the bigger the better. And of anything that is actually made, I'm not going to go as far as saying that this is in fact the biggest watches in the world. However, if it's not, it's definitely close to it. I've been searching for quite some time now. I cannot find anything bigger than these. Okay, and if by all means you know of something, go ahead and put it in the comments. Go ahead and put it in there so I can check it out, because I sure as heck would like to probably purchase one if it's within my budget. So let's get started on this video at least. This one here is the Grand Arsenal, okay? Not just the Arsenal, because they make the Arsenal in a 47mm. This one is the Grand Arsenal, okay? And this one is the full-size Sea Hunter. Both these are available in mid-size, okay? As far as, let's start with the Grand Arsenal, okay? This one here, I'll give you a couple specs on it right now. I'm not going to go into the band measurements, okay? Because we're really concerned with the case in this video. The band measurements you can check out on the other videos. I list those in the other Grand Arsenal videos that I have listed. Okay, so how they measure this one? They measure this one at the bezel. Okay, most watches are measured at the bezel. Okay, but you're going to see the Grand Arsenal referred to as in two different numbers. One is going to be 50. What is it? Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold here. 56mm. Okay, and 63mm. Okay. Basically, when you measure watch, it's going to be at the bezel. So this one's going to measure 56, and we're just going to confirm that, okay? That's off the Invicta site. So we're going to do a little bit of measuring here. Go ahead and put a tape on it. Let's see what we get. Okay, so just about, if you go the black, 58, yeah. So if you go, it's actually from the black, these little decorative hex nut things on here. I'm not sure what you'd call them. Yeah, 58, okay? So 58mm from the black to the black, okay? If you go ahead and measure the case, all right, from the very end of the black all the way out to the end of the crown, which is typically not how you measure a watch, you're looking at 67mm, okay? So that's pretty far. Now they refer to this as a 63, okay? And the reason why they refer to this watch in two different measurements is because the crown, the pushers and the crown protector here are so large on it that it wears like a 63. Now some of you may see my other video also comparing the diesel, the big daddy diesel, or the extra large one, I forget which one you call it. This is bigger than the diesel. The difference is the diesel is 57mm just on the bezel, okay? And it doesn't have a lot of this other, the real chunky case. It's a night and day difference. I mean, diesel's still a big watch, but side by side to this, if you check out my other video, it's really, I'm glad I have it, but there's really no comparison, okay? And for today, I picked the Grand Arsenal in kind of a similar color combo to the Sea Hunter, okay? This one's done in the silver down the middle, polished, and rose tone. with the blue, kind of a, well, they call it white, but mother of pearl usually has kind of a bluish tint to it, almost like a baby blue. Okay. I'm not going to go into the movement on these things, although I do believe they have the exact same movement. Nope, I'm sorry. They are different movements. This will just got your chronograph, date. I'm not going to go into that. Really, the whole point of this video is just to show the size, okay? Two of the biggest here. So you're looking at really about 67 millimeter, and you're probably getting about 63 millimeter if you just go to the end of that. See that rose gold crown protector. Massive, massive watch. 19 millimeters in thickness. Again, you're going from the very back of the case, the lowest point, to the very top of the watch, okay? Which would be this silver kind of hex lug, okay? So there it is. I'm going to put them on the wrist when I'm done, okay? So I'm going to put this one down. Now let's go to the one I just picked up the other day. This is a rare one, okay? This one you just can't find anywhere. If you can, you're going to pay a lot for it. This one is the Sea Hunter. Quite a different watch compared to the other one. This one here is a beast, okay? Now the Grand Arsenal weighs, after its size for a 7-inch wrist, it weighs about, I believe it was almost 13 ounces, okay? This one here I have not weighed yet, but when I do the review for this one all by itself, I'll put that in there, and I'll go ahead and add it to the description. When I compare these, just by feeling them, you're definitely over a pound on this one. I mean, I'd be shocked if it's not over a pound. Just a massive watch. And I tell you, now this is going to sound a little ridiculous, but this is the kind of personality I have. I love the big watches, bigger the better. This watch, after wearing it for 2 days, starts to hurt. So that's what I'm looking for. I know that sounds kind of dumb, but hey, that's what I'm looking for. Big, chunky watches. This one is, in my opinion here, and well, the numbers aren't going to lie. They're both very similar sized watches, but this one here is the biggest watch that Invicta makes. Again, the Sea Hunter, full size. They measure this watch 58 millimeters on the bezel, is what you can find online. And I've heard reference to about 65, 67. We're going to measure it today, okay? So let's see what we get on the bezel. And then I'll tell you a little bit about the watch. If we go all the way, see it has like this kind of rubberized black around it. If we consider that the very edge, and bear with me here, it's a little hard to see here. We're looking at, whoops. Okay, so we got about 57, almost 57 millimeters on just the bezel alone, okay? Now, if we go ahead and measure the bezel and the pusher, because this one's measured the same way because the pushers are so big, you're looking at 60, what do we get there? 60, about 67. So they're pretty comparable as far as size, but where the difference lies is the weight and the thickness. This watch in thickness is 23 millimeters is what I've read, and let's just go ahead and double check that. I'm pretty sure that's correct in this case. Kind of hard to see here. Just give me a moment. A little dark in this room here. Yep, about 23 millimeters in thickness. Now, those of you who know anything about Invicta watches, the thickest watches, and I was going to list another watch on here, but you could check out my other videos. The thickest watch that Invicta makes is the Hydromax, and that one's going to measure with the crystal 29 millimeters. This one here is pushing 23. This is thicker than the Venom. The Venom's at 22. This is a massive chunk of a watch. This one here is done with the retrograde day. And of course the baby blue or the white / baby blue mother of pearl face. Just a chunky watch. Then you have the exhibition back on this one too, with that awesome propeller back there. It doesn't spin or anything. And then of course this one's done in the rose tone, polished in silver. Now I want to just say something real quick here. This video, I'm going to post another video about my experience purchasing this watch, and because I think it's important. I get so many views on my channel. I think it's very important. I bought this watch and another watch, not the one that I just showed you. I purchased 3 watches from the same seller, Invicta Outlet. And I'm going to post another video about my experience with him. I have another video posted about Invicta Outlet. I urge you, if you're in the market for buying watches, eBay's a great resource. So, I mean, when you're ready, go to PHATKATWatches.com. Check the links in my description. That'll take you to a few links, more information about these watches, and it'll pull up information right on the eBay listings. Go ahead and click it. Go right to eBay and check it out. There's also Google listings on there as well where you can find some of these. If you're going to purchase on eBay, I urge you to watch my video about Invicta Outlet because it's, knowledge is power, and of course it's very important. You're spending good money on these watches, and I want you to know my story with them. And there'll be 2 on there, so scroll through my videos, check out both videos for 2 of the 3 experiences I've had, and it was not good. But so far, nonetheless, I did keep this one, and there are a couple things wrong with it, but overall the watch works. It's fine. I'm glad I got it. But still, for the amount of money I paid for it, although it was a great deal because it's a hard watch to find, the seller should have been very clear with the problems that were wrong with this. And I baby watches anyway, so it'll be fine. I'll get get a lifetime out of it, basically. But not much else to say about this one. Like I said, I didn't want to go into too much about the watch, just basically the size. Let me go ahead and do what you've been waiting for here. I'm going to throw it on the wrist. This one here is the Grand Arsenal going on the wrist. And I'm going to do one on each wrist, okay? So we're going to go ahead and put this one on my right wrist. So there it is, 7-inch wrist, chunk of a watch. If you want a big, giant watch, I mean, you can look all over the internet. I've done it, trust me. Diesel are going to be your biggest watches, and these Invicta watches. I have found nothing larger on the net, and trust me when I tell you, I look every day. I found some pretty cool ones out there, a lot of interesting ones that I'm sure I'll pick up, a lot of really big diving watches, but nothing as big as these. Nothing as big and heavy as these. So if you're the kind of guy with a big personality who wants something big and flashy on your wrist, these are the ones to get. So if you got about $700 to spend, depending on where you get them, maybe $8,000, $9,000, say $1,000 to spend, go ahead and pick up both of these. If you can afford it in your budget, you will not be disappointed. All right, so there's that one. Just a beautiful watch. Now this they make they make both these in many different colors. These are my favorite ones right here. Okay, just that color combo. All right, so now let me go ahead and throw on the the Sea Hunter on the wrist. And now my right arm isn't used to wearing a watch. This thing just feels just funky. It's so big. There it is. The 2 biggest watches that Invicta makes. You're looking at them right here. And you can see they're very, very comparable in face size. Now, you do get kind of the illusion. Let me bring this one forward, this one back. See, that kind of makes a difference there. I'm trying to keep them side by side. Let me go like that. Look at the beef on the side. Now look at that. That Sea Hunter comes alive like that. Now, my opinion, okay. Now, and I love this watch. I'm hoping that in the future they do something like this in a full polish, you know. But the problem is, I don't know how many people want a watch this big and heavy. Trust me, this watch. Although I mean, I'm a watch just maniac, okay. So the fact that a watch starts to hurt a little bit, you know, if I'm moving around at work, whatnot, you know, it doesn't really bother me. I like it personally, and again, I know that sounds like geez, but it's the truth. So it doesn't bother me. But if you're the kind of guy who's not really used to a big watch, and you go jumping right into a Sea Hunter, a full-size Sea Hunter, you know, I've heard people return them because they're so big and heavy. But you know what? If you came to this channel looking for giant watches right here, this video, you're not concerned with that. And they do make them in the I have another video on there too, the mid-size version, which in both these. I haven't seen it in the Arsenal, but my buddy has it in the other Sea Hunter here in the mid-size. I believe that measures 50 millimeters, which is nice too. But you can't go wrong with that chunk on your wrist. I mean, look at that. There's a little side by side again. Both beautiful watches. And what I was saying was, I really hope that down the road they do maybe a custom Sea Hunter, maybe with full polish, or if they didn't go full polish, at least do like, you know, because you have some polishing on the band. All the Sea Hunters are gonna have that polishing in the middle right there on the band. Okay, the rest is all satin, but I wish they would do something like this. Get rid of the black around here. Do this with like a polished, like the Hydromax has the coin cut. It's very similar to this, where it's got the lines, but it's polished. Do a full polished. Even if you did two-tone, but do that polish. Get rid of the black. Do something mirror shiny right there. Polish out the bezel, okay, and then do you know, hell, make the whole thing polished. I don't know, something like that. Just kind of make one maybe a little bit fancier to get rid of the black there. That's the only thing that I don't really care for too much about it. But hey, nonetheless, it's still a beautiful watch. Don't get me wrong. So there they are, side by side again. All right, so there you have it, folks. Invicta Grand Arsenal, Invicta Sea Hunter, both full-size watches. You'll know because make sure you get the full-size ones. There's a price difference in getting the smaller ones. Man, these are beautiful. These are two of my favorite. So there you go, YouTube. There's, I forget the gentleman's name who requested a video, but there it is. I hope it was helpful. If you have any kind of questions or comments, please don't hesitate to go ahead and put those in the comment box. And again, if you know of something bigger, man, drop a comment. Now, I know some of you might be saying, oh, well, I've seen this watch that's massive, and I know what you're talking about. It's called the, it's called the Muse, M-U-S-E, and it's supposed to be. And I've seen pictures. Nobody really knows if it's real or not. Seen pictures, but you know how the internet is. That could be deceptive. It's supposed to be 90 millimeters on the face, and I don't know how thick, but the thing was supposed to weigh 2 pounds. So I don't know. It's supposed to be about $200. It's not the caliber of watch these are, but and it's kind of clunky looking. I don't really know if I'd purchase it, but I don't know. I'd really like to check it out and see what it looks like. It's absolutely ridiculous. But, alright folks, well thank you very much for watching, let's see, diver watches, I've seen all those. I know there's a couple ones that guys have recommended. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, Technomeister and Aromatic. They're not as big as these, folks. They're big, they're about 50 millimeter, 52 maybe, but they're nowhere near as big and heavy and beautiful as these. Don't mean I'm not going to get one, but... Alright, well thank you very much for watching. Continue to check back for more videos. Subscribe to my channel. Check out our Facebook page at PHATKATWatches.com. And go ahead and definitely check out the website, PHATKATWatches.com. And check out some of those resources. Alright, you guys have a good day.